Hello everyone, welcome to PSIR 300 Plus channel. As you all know that my motto is very simple. Each one of you who are a part of my mains classes, test series and mentorship with respect to PSIR optional, all of you should get close to 350 marks with the help of which you can drive through GS paper 2 of prelims and also the mains cutoff. That is my main aim here. Right. Today I will be giving my first important analysis with regard to PSIR optional paper 1 which was held in the month of August 2025. Let us see, here we will talk about what kind of questions were asked. And here we'll talk about whether they are theoretical, direct theoretical, or we are having theory plus analysis is our analysis in the sense is either they will ask you to be a critic or they may ask you to see its implications. Okay, theory and implications, or they ask you to relate it to what? India's present political administrative system. So that comes under what? Theory plus analytics. Is it in this way? These are also easy and these are also easy. No need to worry about it. Then we have something which is called as what? Contemporary issues based any questions have come or not. We'll talk about it. Then we will also see that any direct acts, okay, or any direct rules are asked in the examination or not, because that also constitute one of the important area of UPSC asking pattern. Direct questions are there or not, we'll talk about it. Then we'll also see that whether the questions have come within the syllabus or some are very difficult to comprehend with regard to the existing resources. Basically generally we study for the examination, so we'll talk about this also, right? So kind of questions, theoretical or theory plus analysis, contemporary, direct acts or provisions might have been asked, or whether the questions are syllabus oriented or they might have deviated a little bit again for 3 or 4 questions again came back. We'll talk about that also, right? So what I have understood is the paper was very easy. It's not something that you cannot be able to know. Why? Because all of these are given in our books. All of these are even taught by me in my PSIR optional channel. My channel is very new but still has a lot of qualitative content. A lot of people are appreciating me. What I only request to all the students who are watching me, the number of views I get on my channel with regard to one video will be 300, 400, something like that. But the subscribers are only 23 or 25. So it's just a humble request to those who are watching me, just subscribe to the channel. I will bet you will be having so much content. By 2026, you will be pro with regard to GS paper 2, polity, governance, international relations, and your PSIR optional also. You don't have to actually go for many resources. If you stick to what I am teaching with regard to this GS paper 2, polity, governance, international relations plus PSIR optional, this is the only channel. Okay, so you just be consistent with what we are dealing with. So you will find a very good change within 2 months of your continuous viewing my channel itself. Okay, the question seems to be very easy. It is not an hard and fast rule. Okay, you can write it anyway. The questions are open-ended. They are not even closed that they are asking you to just be limited to a particular narrow concept. They are very open-ended questions. So you can write, okay, with a very open mind, you can start the introduction however you want to start. You can quote however you want to quote. All that would be easy also. Okay, chalo, let us start our discussion. Section A, all the 5 questions you have to do compulsory. You cannot leave any of this. All of them are having, each one of them are having 10 marks. So 5 questions, 50 marks. Remember this point here, okay? The first one here is explain the philosophical approach to the study of political theory. A direct question I have already discussed. Okay, I have already discussed institutional approach in my PSIR channel, because last 2 months only I have launched this channel. In that I have picked up institutional approach. So just imagine a point here, if I would have taken the classes or this started the YouTube channel for 6 months, all of you guys who have actually wrote the examination in 2025 would have been benefited a lot. So those who are preparing for 2026, so make sure that you be a part of my course. Definitely you will find a very, very bigger change in your preparation too. And obviously the mentorship that I provide is also give you a lot of benefits with regard to other subjects. Handouts will be given, lot of content is there, lot to tell you about what I generally offer in my course. So for that purpose, you have to do a very simple thing. Just call or message to the number given in the description or given on the slides. We will have a one-to-one demo session and we'll strategize everything and I'll tell you very clearly. It will help you to understand if you want to become UPSC or crack UPSC, become IAS, IPS, whatsoever your goal is, you have to read this, right? Otherwise, how can you? And PSIR, IR, PS and IR are very, very intricate and intimate to our daily lives also. Political system, international relations, because of social media, it becomes very, very near to us. Before we don't even know that our Prime Minister Modi ji has went and he is sitting in the car with the Putin. We don't even know that is actually happening. We just get pictures. Now you see in the morning I have seen that Mr. Modi ji is actually sitting with the Vladimir Putin, the Russian president, and both of them are laughing. So in this age of social media, when the international relations have become the household thing and political science has become the household thing, when different perspectives are being put forward by the siblings itself, some are BJP, some are Congress, some are communists, some are atheists, some are no. So you just understand that how we are able to decimate the information and becomes very easy. So let us go ahead and explain the philosophical approach to the study of political theory. Exactly this particular thing we will discuss in our classes. It's a very common thing. PSI students will know about it. So obviously they will be very happy to say it. The only problem the students will have here, whether it is regard to political thinkers or whether with regard to the approaches of political science, in these two areas the students are always, even the toppers, are struggling for what? Differentiation. Means they are actually overlapping the one approach features with another approach features, one thinker features with another thinker features. So they are not able to articulate their answer very well. Okay, things are looking very, very similar to them. That's the reason they are not able to score much here. So we have to remove it and we'll do it in our classes too. And if you are also preparing for PSIR, make sure that you be very, very clear about when they have asked you political theory with regard to philosophical approach, you cannot be using behavioral approach. Even one single point of behavioral approach you cannot be using. And that could be another argument also, that you can say that in contrast you can write it, because the contrast thing is not asked. So why should we present it? They just asked us what philosophical approach. So just limit it to us. Try to correlate with the present modern political system of our country. That would be more than enough. Okay. Then the second one is also very easy. Write a short note on the relation between equality, liberty from the multicultural perspective. So lot of cultures are there. Cultures are derived from the religions, right? So how we have to ensure that the cultural liberty should be given equally to all the religions, to all the castes, to all the creed. So here you can invoke constitutional provisions which are given to us between from the articles 25 to 30. Okay, these kind of constitutional provisions you have to invoke, and you have to substantiate your answer, and you have to also tell that equality and liberty who have considered very, very important. You have to quote some of the political thinkers, Indian political thinkers also, and why these are important. Why these are important? Obviously, to have a just society, equality. To have a civil religion, equality matters. To have a progressive society, equality matters. Liberty in the sense is that what an individual capacity, what you are able to pursue, what you want to aspire to become, that liberty you are having or not, whether you want to work in India, whether you want to work somewhere else, whether this kind of liberty you are having or not. So equality and liberty are important pillars of what? Human being. And it has been also constitutionalized at the time of constitution itself. Then third one here is exactly the same to same. You have to write, explain the Macpherson view on power. Okay, power. Okay, nothing but you come to power with the help of what? Elected, as a elected representative, as a you come to power as a king in the form of what? Hierarchy or monarchy, whatsoever. So you have to define what actually the power yields and how power can be maneuvered in order to make a society progress. One important point all the toppers generally misses is whether the power approach is there, whether it is a democratic approach is there, whether it is a elected democratic, indirect democratic approach is there. So whether it is a autocracy is there, whether it is a monarchy is there, always end your answer right in the perspective of what, how it is going to, how this can help the people or the citizen of the country as a whole. This is important. If you are having power, does not necessarily mean that it is in a negative sense, and you should not think that you are going to write everything negative. Power can be yield in a positive way, in a progressive way. So you have to make sure that various approaches, how they are going to sink in a particular citizens, okay, concept and the community. So the power can lead to what? Change. The power can lead to progression. The power can lead to development. The power can lead to welfare. So the only thing is that you have to write in that perspective. Now the difference between the Italian, German brands of fascism. Very, very easy question. Okay, if you're knowing this particular revolutions, you will easily get what is the meaning of fascism. You will understand more better about fascism. So there's a hell lot of theories there which you can easily get from the books and also from the internet also. So it's very easy to do that. Explain briefly the elite theory of democracy. Today in our country, the problem that we are having is this only, elite democracy. So here what happens is those who are wealthy, those who are powerful, those who are influential person, they are actually running the democratic show in our country. The poor, okay, though the president of India office is open to the all the individuals, but have you seen any commoner having this particular post? No, that is not possible. So those people who are actually elite, who are actually in the power, who are actually influential, all of them are making the democracy of a particular country. So you have to explain briefly the democracy, what is the meaning of elite theory of democracy, how the features looks like. Then you should also talk about what are the challenges. You have to talk about what could be done and use some examples with regard to this kind of democracy where it has been existing. One such example we are having is India itself. Okay, right. All of these are very easy to do. So I guess all of you have done it. Now we'll talk about the second section of it where you have to answer only 3, right? So what is a Marxist and liberal approach towards the state? On what ground the theoretical difference between two are premised? Very easy one. Karl Marx जितना लिखना है लिख लो. लिबरल अप्रोच, लिबर्टी, इक्वलिटी, फैटर्निटी हिस्ट्री में पढ़े हैं, बहुत जगह पढ़े हैं, तो फिर वो लिखना बड़ी बात नहीं है. सो टेल अबाउट मार्क्सिज्म. ओके, tell about liberal approach because Marx is a socialist and communist kind of political thinker. Liberal is all Western thinker. So here, because US and Russia are having a lot of problem with regard to each other in the recent times, obviously Russia's invasion on Ukraine has led to a lot of faults with regard to the global peace and security and the relations too. So in this case, so they are just trying to make all of us understand that how do you perceive these two important political thinkers on which the complete the superpowers are actually rest on. So you have to also give the contrasting thing. Theoretical differences also you have to give. So once you write this, automatically the differences you will easily get from the answer itself. No need to worry about it. Then the next one we are having, Karl Popper presented defense of open society against his enemy. Elaborate. Very, very theoretical question. There in our syllabus, there in all the books. Directly write it. That's enough. No need to explain about it because explanation class I'll be doing anyhow. And one more important thing, this is just an analysis. Okay, you need to know as a beginner or you have written your examination, you need to know about it. Every question model answers I will be giving you in my next lectures, which I've already created. GS paper 2 polity, governance, international relations. I have given 2 model question and answer. I will cover all the 50. Don't worry. In that also 15 are there here, 25 odd are there, whatever it is. I will give you all model question and answer within this month. Explain how Rawls law, every other time this Rawls law will come into what examination. It's always there in the political thinker. So make sure, I don't think so that anyone would have ever left this topic of study with regard to PSIR optional preparation. So it's very easy, you can easily do that. Talked about more about egalitarian gender gap related aspects only, he talked about more. And that's how when we try to fix gender gap, that's how the justice will be distributed, right? Otherwise, if the gender gap is not filled with regard to literacy, with regard to IMR, with regard to life expectancy, with regard to startup, with regard to credit facility, with regard to state in the society, with regard to equal pay for equal work whatsoever, when the 2 gender gaps has been decreased, then only we call it as justice has been distributed equally among the 2 genders of our nation. In the challenges here, you can write that the emerging communities like queer community also need to be given what distributive justice means. When government distribute any loan, when government distribute any pension, when government distribute anything, it has to be done in a justice way, and it has to make sure that we are moving towards what egalitarian society, nothing but men and women on par with each other. Now the third question, number third and A here, is provide a comparative analysis of behavioral and institutional approach. See how beautifully three approaches have come in the question. So I would be very happy to write it because 20 marks are given for this. This is a balle balle things. No one would have ever left it because it's a right. Within 15 days of your classes, you will master these theories. So you are well placed here. Behavioral approach is all about empirical evidences. Institutional approach is all about what creating institution. Okay, towards the study of political theory. Behavioral approaches like conducting of, we do both of them, no need to worry about it. We do both the approaches we follow in our country. We do census, we do surveys, we do caste census, we take the number, GDP numbers, poverty numbers. So basically how we behave, how the citizen behave to a particular reaction of the government or particular action of the government, studying that with the help of data, facts, numbers, whatsoever is called as what? Behavioral approach. Okay, institutional approach is very clear. राज्य ने व्यक्तिगता का अंत करके मानव सभ्यता की गंभीर हानि की है, जो कि हर विकास का आधार है। महात्मा गांधी जी, स्पष्ट कीजिए, अच्छे से बोलिए, स्पष्ट में समझाइए मतलब क्या है। So यहाँ पे what you can fix here, it's not necessary that you have to be knowing about it. The moment you see the question, you should not jump to other important questions. So first of all, you should have it this much of normal analytics that अगर राज्य greatest harm कब होगा? When the राज्य will be harming us to the mankind by destroying individuality. State arbitrariness, basically here state arbitrariness we are talking about. State complete strategic autonomy is there, state complete police rule is there, or military rule is there. When the state will become like that, it will definitely harm the mankind by destroying their individuality, in the sense that what we aspire to become, what we want to eat, what we want to do, what we occupation we choose. So our individuality will not be ours if the state is arbitrary in nature. Okay, that is the which lies. If the individuality is destroyed, then all roots of all progress will also be gone. So it's a very easy one. It's not tricky also. With the help of the remaining statement, you can easily put that when the state will become, when the state is harming the individuals. Now we are having 3C here. Explain how the slogan "the personal is political" address the issue of women oppression and discrimination. Very important. Invoke constitutional provisions, invoke government policies. Startup India, you invoke women empowerment, you invoke here. So basically here they are talking about personal is political. Okay, so when it comes to women personal life, what kind of provisions and what kind of theory and approaches that we generally apply in order to protect it. And it is very important that women should not be seen with the eyes of what men, it has to be seen in the eyes of what being equal. So their oppression, their discrimination, it's a personal thing, has to be done in a manner where oppression and discrimination should not be a part of our social progress. Then the fourth A, we are having the foundation of Western democracy has been shaped by Loki's. This particular question I have already discussed in my PSIR. This channel only I have discussed. Please go to the Loki's. You will find the answer for it. Very beautifully I have given it. Then Hanan Arendt analyzed a few categories of vita activa. It's not at all a difficult one. It is there in our books, so directly you can have it. Do you think that legitimacy acquired by consent or manufactured by indoctrination? So consent is very simple. What we are doing today is consent only, democratic elections. Okay, manufactured by indoctrination. Indoctrination is nothing but I ask you to join my cult. If you do so, what will happen to the democracy? That is what we are talking about. Okay, not democracy, legitimacy. So when you, like all 100 people are there and you started saying something and which actually appeals to 30-40% of, like out of 100, 30-40 people are appealing to it, whether it's negative or positive, you're not talking about it. You have created a cult. Okay, in that cult what you're trying to get more and more people into that particular cult. Okay, without knowing the repercussion or consequences of this cult, you are engaging people in your own ideology. That is called as indoctrination. If such kind of person comes to power, whether it is called as legitimate, whether it is called as yes, yes, come to power with the full consensus, no, right? That is what we have to do. Okay, so do you think that legitimacy acquired by consent, whether this one or by creating a cult or ideology to follow, okay, blindly, this one, which one is essential for the maintenance of political rule? So obviously your answer will be this. Okay, now we are having section B, again the same thing. First 5A, 5A, 5B, 5C, 5D. 5D you have to do all the 5 compulsory. Explain briefly the role of peasant movements exactly picked up from the history question paper. So a history syllabus you can easily write. Write a note on Dalit perspective of Indian national movement. So you should be categorizing all the Dalit important leaders and what kind of issues they have picked up and how they have solved the issues. All that you have to be, you're writing it. Okay, land reforms programs, always asking in the examination with regard to land reforms. Still today also we are suffering from what? Land reforms, because the small and marginal farmers constitute 89%, the large farmers are very very less. So land reforms, tenant problems are there, occupancy problems are there. Still we need a second third generation land reforms we need. So that what we have to comment. Delineate the key factor that has shaped the evolving political landscape in Jammu and Kashmir post 2019. So this is a very difficult and tricky question. So instead of this one in 5D, you can write this one. This is a very easy one. Okay, out of these two, okay, you can write the land reforms one. So basically they are asking here what? As because it is very specific to the state, so obviously learning very specific to the state, the PSIR will not be a good idea also. So you can leave questions in this way. So here they are talking about how it is evolving political landscape. You can just give some important events that has happened after the elections. Terrorism has been decreased towards the development and growth paths, and the recent opposition of the Kashmiris with regard to Pahalgam attack terrorists, and they have got a lot of rallies. So the political landscapes is definitely changing there. Why? Because these the Kashmiris are not actually siding with what terrorists and separatists when before they used to be. They are not doing that now. They are actually opposing them. So that's a very very difficult political landscape that we are able to see that. Okay, political landscape does not mean only CM, it also means people. Remember this point. Then how far has been the National Human Rights Commission successful in achieving its objective? I was expecting this question that they will definitely ask child rights, human rights, women rights. Okay, how the commissions are actually working. Parliamentary committees on this also have created one full-fledged video in this channel only. Please watch this, you will get the answer for it. It was one of the current affairs that was came in the examination, that was came in the newspaper 2-3 months back, and after 2-3 months the examination was held and the same was repeated. 6B, examine the constitutional provision. Whenever you get the word examine, you have to say good and bad, and you have to use facts, and you have to use the events and examples. Examine the constitutional provisions and nature of advisory jurisdiction of Supreme Court of India. So you have to examine that how advisory jurisdiction of Supreme Court of India has actually helped us, and what are the cases, the topics that they have actually solved, and how it is going, and what are the obstacles on it. Okay, that's what we before reading the question only I understood that you need to put out some examples. 6C, we are having the recent developments in Indian politics has not eroded the true spirit of federalism in India. Okay, critically examine this statement with the help of an appropriate examples. Again, appropriate examples are recent. You can see that when it is all about, you take one example, true spirit of federalism has not been destroyed. The IAS, IPS officers before in the last term was a lot of shuffling was there. Now the IAS, IPS with regard to state administration, central government is not actually doing much. With regard to GST also, central government is not enforcing anything on what? State government. State governments are nowadays given more autonomy also. Okay, so this is what it is. Easily to write it, no need to worry about it. And this is enunciate the impediments to women participation in local governments. Very 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 easiest one you will study in polity mains also, GS paper 2. Okay, then caste census a vital axis. So I don't have to tell you this again question I have asked in the mains of my topic I have discussed. and that's how it is. Like that's what I say, that when you are with me within 3-4 months, you will be so trained, and within a year you will be trained to just score a lot of marks, and you will definitely get through the examination. I have discussed this also in my PSIR channel, this channel. There is a debate on the procedure for the appointment of Chief Election Commissioner and Election Commissioner to the Constitution, analyze its various aspects. Why it is good, why it is bad, why should be PM should be a part of it, why it should be outsider should be a part of it, what is the role of its actual functioning, whether the functioning has any relation to the political setup or not, why politics have to be away from the election commission in order to ensure free and fair elections. All these common things you already study in the debates are already there on the articles. If you're just following the newspapers, easy to do it. The decision to conduct population census 2027 has reopened a debate on delimitation. When census is being conducted, obviously the number of people will be increased. When the number of people will be increased, the number of people represented in a constituency in the sense of MP and MLA will also change. So obviously, whenever the population census happen, my own state CM sir has, Revanth Reddy sir has said that government is planning to delimitation, and we are not going to accept one less seat also. Basically, he is expecting the more seats with regard to delimitation. So just imagine, it has started a political debate. So consensus, population census and the delimitations will come hand in hand. These things will again come into being and will spiral out in the next year, which is going to be your answer, probable question in the examination. With reference to Nehruvian perspective of planning and economic development, examining how early phase of economic planning in India has laid the foundation of modern economic growth rate. So what Nehru ji has done? So post independence, you might have learnt about the prime ministers and their contribution. That is one of the important topic. Everyone should do it. So basically, whatever you have learnt with regard to Nehru ji and how he has shaped our economy, we followed import substitution, or we followed globalization, or we followed capitalism, we followed what kind of setup, we allowed private sector or not. So which actually led the tempo of modern economic growth. It's very easy to write if you're aware of this, because directly asking with regard to Nehru. So there is a separate chapter is there where you are going to learn about PM Center contribution. Illustrate with example how political parties in India have played a crucial role in drawing the historically disadvantaged groups into the mainstream of the political system. I don't have to tell you this. For caste, for creed, for race, for subcaste, for sub-subcaste, one political party has been launched, and with the help of which what happened, they came into the mainstream. The organizations are working, CSOs are working, NGOs are working, right? So making the political parties a right to contest, right to form associations, political parties, a fundamental right. Because of that, what happened? Many of the political parties has been floated by taking what nice group of communities, and that's how they actually became in the mainstream. Okay, this is one of the important area with regard to Madas and Medicas of our state, of my state also. Easy. Okay, all of them are. Now the BC reservation will be increased. No, that kind of topics are also coming, so that will also become very easy. So illustrate is again nothing but you have to give examples. Okay, illustrate means समझाओ, examples देकर समझाओ कि political parties इंडिया में किस तरीके से crucial और important role play कर रहे हैं with respect to whom, जो भी disadvantage groups है, मे बी वो women रहो, मे बी वो SC रहो, SC रहो, इन पूरों को empower करने के लिए, इन पूरों को political system में लाने के लिए, mainstream decision making में लाने के लिए reservations भी आए हैं, पंचायत राज women वहाँ पे भी दिए हैं, ठीक है, and that's how they are able to represent themselves in the political parties and being one of the important system of complete political administration. I hope this is all clear to you. We are ending the paper 1 analysis, and next class I'll be discussing first 3-4 questions of this PSIR optional with model answers. Those who are watching me, do subscribe to my channel and do share to all of your friends, and do join my classes, test series, mentorships. Lot is there with regard to the my course. You can be a part of it. You can just call to the number. Let us have a discussion. Take the features. If you like it, you'll be a part of it. Obviously, you like it. Take care.